One of the foundational concepts in Stoicism is the distinction between what we can control and what we cannot. Epictetus, another prominent Stoic philosopher, articulated this beautifully in his work, The Enchiridion. He emphasizes that while we cannot control external events, we can control our own actions, thoughts, and attitudes. This understanding is crucial because much of our suffering arises from trying to control the uncontrollable. When life hurts, it often means that we are entangled in concerns over things beyond our control. We worry about the future, regret the past, and get frustrated by the present circumstances that do not align with our desires. But what if we could shift our focus? What if we could liberate ourselves from this unnecessary burden by caring less about these uncontrollable aspects? Think about the times when you felt most distressed. Was it because of something you could influence, or was it due to events and outcomes beyond your reach? Marcus Aurelius teaches us that by caring less about these uncontrollable factors, we can reclaim our peace and focus on our genuine purpose. When life hurts, care less about it. Embracing the Stoic philosophy of Marcus Aurelius. Welcome to this exploration of a profound and timeless philosophy, a way of living that can offer us peace and resilience in the face of life's inevitable hardships. Drawing on the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers and a Roman emperor who ruled with virtue, we will delve into how caring less about certain aspects of life can actually lead to a deeper, more meaningful existence. Imagine for a moment that you are the most powerful person in the known world. You have access to every pleasure, every indulgence. Yet, you choose a path of restraint and virtue, not because you lack desire, but because you understand a deeper truth about life and human nature. Marcus Aurelius, despite his immense power, realized that true fulfillment comes not from external pleasures, but from living in accordance with nature and reason, and by focusing on what we can control. Marcus Aurelius wanted to fulfill the task he believed was given to him by fortune, serving humanity. To do so effectively, he had to care deeply about his purpose, but care less about the distractions and trivialities that could derail him. This is a delicate balance, caring deeply about what truly matters while letting go of what does not. Consider the future, for instance. As Seneca wisely stated, we suffer more in our imagination than in reality. We often torment ourselves with endless scenarios of what might happen, most of which never come to pass. Our minds become a battleground of fears and anxieties about events that may never unfold. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that it is not the future itself that burdens us, but our thoughts about it in the present. The future, in reality, does not exist outside our minds. It is a construct of our imagination. Marcus Aurelius advises us never to let the future disturb us. He believed that if we can cope with the present, we can also cope with the future. This mindset is akin to the Stoic concept of amor fati, or love of fate. It is a trust in our ability to handle whatever comes our way, fortified by reason and virtue. Reflect on the past. How often do we revisit past events, replaying them in our minds, wishing we could have acted differently? The past, like the future, is beyond our control. It is an unchangeable realm that we cannot operate in. Marcus Aurelius urged us to remember that man lives only in the present moment. The rest of his life is either past and gone or not yet revealed. By dwelling on the past, we divert our energy from the present, where our true power lies. Our memories of the past are often inaccurate, colored by personal perspectives and emotions. We cannot change what has happened, but we can change how we respond to it. Instead of lamenting the past, Marcus Aurelius encourages us to focus on our reactions. The nature of past events is less important than how we handle them now. It is about turning misfortune into fortune by remaining unharmed and unshaken by the events. Now, let's bring our attention to the present moment. The present is all we truly have. It is the narrow field within our reach where we can act and make choices. Yet, even in the present, we often care too much about things that are not worthy of our concern. We get angry, sad, or depressed when life does not go as we wish. According to Marcus Aurelius, being emotionally disturbed by what fortune throws at us is pointless. We cannot control how the world unfolds, but we can control how we react to it. Consider how often we resist what is happening, wishing for things to be different. We struggle against the natural course of events, much like pigs squealing when sacrificed. But this resistance is futile. We cannot stop people from waging wars, prevent natural disasters, or halt the aging process. We cannot force the world to align with our desires. Marcus Aurelius teaches us to accept the ways of nature and focus on what is within our control, our choices, actions, and opinions. He reminds us to treat what we do not have as non-existent and to value what we have without overvaluing it. This means appreciating the present without clinging to it. Clinging to the present out of fear of losing it gives fortune power over us. Instead, we must embrace the present moment, using it as an opportunity to practice virtue. When life gives us lemons, Marcus Aurelius advises us not to squeal and scream, but to see it as an opportunity to practice Stoic philosophy. The art of living is not about having favorable external circumstances, but about how we face and respond to the events that come our way. It is about exercising rational and civic virtue, treating whatever happens as natural and familiar. As we continue this journey through the philosophy of Marcus Aurelius, let's reflect deeply on our own lives. What are the things we care too much about that are beyond our control? How can we shift our focus to what truly matters and embrace the present moment with wisdom and virtue? The wisdom of embracing the present. Continuing from where we left off, let's delve deeper into how we can embrace the present moment and make the most of it, following the Stoic principles laid out by Marcus Aurelius. The present moment is a fleeting instant, yet it is all we truly have. From this narrow window, we can see into the past and speculate about the future, but our power to act lies only in the present. Marcus Aurelius frequently reminded himself and us that the present is where we must focus our attention. But how do we do this effectively, especially when life hurts? First, we must recognize that our dissatisfaction often stems from our expectations and desires. We want things to go a certain way, and when they do not, we become upset. This reaction is natural, but it is also a source of unnecessary suffering. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that our emotional disturbances are not caused by external events themselves, but by our judgments about them. This insight is powerful because it means we can change our experience of life by changing our judgments. Imagine a situation where something does not go as planned. Perhaps you missed an important opportunity or faced an unexpected setback. The natural reaction might be frustration or disappointment. But what if, instead, you viewed this event as neutral, something that simply is, without attaching any negative judgment to it? This shift in perspective can transform your experience. You are no longer at the mercy of external events, but in control of your response to them. Marcus Aurelius often compared life to a play. We do not control the script or the other actors, but we do control how we play our part. By focusing on our role and doing our best, we can find contentment regardless of the external circumstances. This does not mean that we should be passive or indifferent to what happens around us. Instead, it means engaging with life fully while accepting that some things are beyond our control. Consider the analogy of a sailor navigating a stormy sea. The sailor cannot control the wind or the waves, but he can control the sails and the rudder. By focusing on what he can control, the sailor can navigate through the storm more effectively. Similarly, by focusing on our actions and attitudes, we can navigate through life's challenges with greater resilience. Another key aspect of embracing the present is practicing gratitude. Marcus Aurelius advised us to look at what we have and value it deeply. Often, we take for granted the many blessings in our lives. By regularly reminding ourselves of what we are grateful for, we can cultivate a sense of contentment and reduce our tendency to focus on what we lack. But Marcus Aurelius also cautioned against overvaluing what we have to the point where we become distressed at the thought of losing it. This is a delicate balance. We should appreciate our possessions, relationships, and circumstances, but not cling to them. Everything in life is transient, and clinging to impermanent things sets us up for suffering. Instead, we should enjoy and value what we have while being ready to let go when the time comes. This attitude extends to our relationships as well. We often derive a significant portion of our happiness from our connections with others. While these relationships are precious, they are also subject to change and loss. By appreciating our loved ones without clinging to them, we can enjoy deeper, more meaningful connections without the fear of loss overshadowing our joy. Marcus Aurelius also taught us to view adversity as an opportunity to practice virtue. When we face challenges, it is easy to become disheartened and feel overwhelmed. However, every difficulty is also a chance to develop our character and strengthen our resilience. By approaching adversity with a mindset of growth, we can transform obstacles into stepping stones on our path to a more virtuous life. Reflect on a recent challenge you faced. How did you respond to it? Did you see it as a setback or as an opportunity to practice patience, courage, or wisdom? By shifting our perspective on adversity, we can find peace and strength even in the most difficult circumstances. Another profound teaching of Marcus Aurelius is the concept of amor fati, or love of fate. This means embracing everything that happens to us, not just accepting it. It involves seeing every event, whether pleasant or painful, as a part of our destiny and an essential component of our life's journey. This attitude can transform our experience of life, helping us to find meaning and purpose even in hardship. Consider the story of a sculptor working on a block of marble. Each strike of the chisel removes a piece of the stone, but it also brings the sculpture closer to its final form. Similarly, each event in our lives, whether positive or negative, shapes us and contributes to our personal growth. By loving our fate, we can appreciate the beauty of this process and find peace in the unfolding of our lives. As we continue to explore the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, let's reflect on our own lives and the areas where we might be clinging too tightly or resisting what is. How can we embrace the present moment more fully? How can we shift our perspective on adversity and see it as an opportunity for growth, the freedom in letting go? Continuing from our previous reflections, let's delve deeper into the concept of freedom that comes from letting go of what we cannot control. This freedom is not just a philosophical idea, but a practical tool that can transform our experience of life. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that true freedom lies in our ability to choose our responses. While we cannot control external events, we can control our internal world, our thoughts, attitudes, and actions. This inner freedom is the essence of Stoic philosophy and the key to a tranquil life. Consider the metaphor of a bird in a cage. The bird's physical freedom is limited, but its spirit can remain free if it does not allow the cage to define its existence. Similarly, we may face limitations and challenges in life, but we can maintain our inner freedom by not allowing these external circumstances to dictate our mood and mindset. This concept is particularly relevant when life hurts. Pain, whether physical or emotional, is an inevitable part of the human experience. However, suffering is a choice. Suffering arises when we resist pain, when we wish for things to be different than they are. By accepting pain as a natural part of life and choosing how we respond to it, we can reduce our suffering. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to focus on what is within his control and let go of the rest. This is not an easy practice, but it is profoundly liberating. When we stop trying to control the uncontrollable, we free ourselves from a significant source of stress and anxiety. We can then direct our energy toward what truly matters, our actions and attitudes. Think about a time when you felt overwhelmed by a situation beyond your control. Maybe it was a health issue, a relationship problem, or a financial setback. How did you respond? Did you spend your energy worrying and trying to change the unchangeable? Or did you focus on what you could do and let go of the rest? By letting go of what we cannot control, we create space for peace and clarity in our lives. We can then approach each moment with a sense of calm and purpose, knowing that we are doing our best within the limits of our influence. Another aspect of freedom in letting go is the release of attachment to outcomes. We often tie our happiness to specific results, getting a promotion, achieving a goal, or receiving recognition. While it is natural to have desires and ambitions, attaching our well-being to these outcomes sets us up for disappointment. Marcus Aurelius teaches us to focus on the process rather than the outcome. By doing our best and accepting whatever results, we find contentment regardless of the external circumstances. This attitude is not about giving up on our goals or ambitions, but about approaching them with a sense of detachment. We can strive for excellence and work toward our dreams while remaining flexible and open to whatever outcomes arise. This flexibility allows us to adapt and thrive even when things do not go as planned. Reflect on your current goals and ambitions. Are you overly attached to specific outcomes? How can you shift your focus to the process and find joy in the journey rather than the destination? Marcus Aurelius also emphasizes the importance of living in harmony with nature. This means understanding and accepting the natural order of things, including the impermanence of all life. Everything in nature has a cycle: birth, growth, decay, and death. By aligning ourselves with this natural rhythm, we can find peace in the inevitability of change. Consider the changing seasons. Each season has its beauty and purpose, and none lasts forever. Similarly, our lives are marked by cycles of change and transition. By accepting and embracing these cycles, we can navigate them with grace and resilience. One profound way to practice this acceptance is through mindfulness. Mindfulness involves being fully present in the moment, without judgment or resistance. It is about observing our thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them. By cultivating mindfulness, we can develop a deeper awareness of our inner world and learn to respond to life's challenges with greater clarity and calm. Try a simple mindfulness exercise. Sit quietly and take a few deep breaths. Focus on the sensation of your breath entering and leaving your body. When your mind wanders, gently bring your attention back to your breath. Notice any thoughts or feelings that arise without judging or trying to change them. This practice can help you develop a more balanced and accepting attitude toward life's ups and downs. As we continue our exploration, let's reflect on the areas of our lives where we might be resisting the natural flow of things. How can we cultivate a greater sense of acceptance and peace? How can we embrace the freedom that comes from letting go of what we cannot control? The path to inner peace. In our final part, we will explore how the principles of Stoicism, as taught by Marcus Aurelius, can lead us to inner peace. This peace is not the absence of difficulties, but a state of tranquility that comes from understanding and accepting the nature of life. Marcus Aurelius believed that inner peace is achievable by aligning our lives with reason and nature. This involves living virtuously, focusing on what we can control, and accepting what we cannot. It is about finding harmony within ourselves, regardless of the external chaos. One of the most profound teachings of Marcus Aurelius is the idea that our thoughts shape our reality. He wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." This means that our perception of life is largely determined by our mindset. By cultivating positive and rational thoughts, we can transform our experience of life. Consider how your thoughts influence your emotions and actions. When you dwell on negative thoughts, you are likely to feel anxious, angry, or depressed. On the other hand, when you focus on positive and constructive thoughts, you're more likely to feel calm, motivated, and content. By becoming aware of our thought patterns and consciously choosing more positive and rational thoughts, we can create a more peaceful inner world. Marcus Aurelius also teaches us to find peace by accepting our mortality. The awareness of our finite existence can be a powerful motivator to live fully and authentically. It reminds us that our time is limited and precious, encouraging us to focus on what truly matters. By embracing our mortality, we can let go of trivial concerns and live with greater purpose and presence. Reflect on your own life. What are the things that truly matter to you? Are you living in a way that aligns with your deepest values and aspirations? How can the awareness of your mortality inspire you to live more fully and meaningfully? Another key aspect of finding inner peace is practicing compassion and kindness. Marcus Aurelius believed that we are all interconnected and that by helping others, we also help ourselves. Compassion involves recognizing the shared humanity in others and responding with empathy and kindness. By cultivating a compassionate attitude, we can create more harmonious relationships and a more peaceful inner world. Think about a recent interaction where you felt frustrated or angry. How might the situation have changed if you approached it with compassion and understanding? How can you incorporate more kindness and empathy into your daily interactions? Finally, Marcus Aurelius teaches us the importance of self-reflection. Regularly examining our thoughts, actions, and motivations can help us stay aligned with our values and make necessary adjustments. This practice of self-reflection allows us to grow and improve continuously, leading to a more harmonious and fulfilling life. Try setting aside a few minutes each day for self-reflection. Consider what went well, what challenges you faced, and how you responded to them. Reflect on your goals and whether your actions are aligned with them. This practice can help you develop greater self-awareness and make more conscious choices. As we conclude this exploration of Marcus Aurelius's philosophy, let's take a moment to reflect on the journey we've undertaken. We have learned the importance of distinguishing what we can control from what we cannot, embracing the present moment, letting go of attachment to outcomes, and cultivating inner peace through reason, compassion, and self-reflection. The teachings of Marcus Aurelius offer us a timeless guide to living a more resilient, meaningful, and peaceful life. By applying these principles, we can navigate life's challenges with greater wisdom and grace, finding strength and tranquility even in the face of adversity. Thank you for joining me on this journey. May you find peace and fulfillment as you embrace the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and the timeless philosophy of Stoicism.